Hi, and welcome to A Punk with Toys. My name is Lawrence, and today we're going to take a look at NECA's Assassin's Creed Revelations Ezio Auditore. I had to ask my son, he's the video gamer, but there it is. Now, I know nothing about Assassin's Creed other than it's a video game and there's some sort of ninjas or something like that. But I remember when this thing came out, or the preview for it came out, and I just thought it looked really cool. And then I saw Sergeant Red's, that's my plug for him, where you can have it again. Saw that they got it in, and I wanted to run out and grab it. There's just something about when I saw the figure, the promotion shots, that I thought it looked cool, and so I wanted to get it. I'm gonna take a review of it. So there it is. As you can see, this is NECA. There's no opening here, and that might be the reason why it's $30. So it's about $10 cheaper than a lot of the other stuff, and maybe it has less accessories. I'm not sure. There you have the figure on the side, and then you have a little bit about the character on the back, and then another still shot of him. But again, open window. It is cheaper. So I know KJ was talking about it on a stream about G.I. Joe, that hey, you know what? Maybe if they put a flap on it, it can give you the file card, but are you willing to spend a little bit of extra money? I don't think people are, but anyway, let's take a look at this. And if you're in Michigan, or hey, if you're not, you're on Instagram, check out Sergeant Red's. Great people. Seriously, one of the best toy stores in Michigan. I'm lucky to have some really great stores in the area. But anyway, let's get to this and see if this thing compares to the Gargoyles and Elf, because NECA had a really bad reputation for a while, and I think they've gotten a little bit better. So before we do, if you like this type of content, take a second, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and hit that bell notification so you're notified every time I drop some sort of new figure. Let's take a look at it. Alright, so I got the figure out, and the first thing that I can say is he doesn't come with a lot of accessories, and that's fine. I don't know everything that he would come with. He is an assassin. I know I said a ninja. I don't believe that he is a ninja, so please, you don't really have to correct me and yell at me. I know people love to do that, or you can if that's what you want. So, quickly, just taking a look at this figure. I think he looks pretty nice right away. Everything looks pretty bulky, so it almost looks like his head is maybe just a shy too small, or it's just all the armor that's over him. So, we'll take a look at his weapons before we get to the figure. So here's his crossbow, and they actually do put so it actually looks like a band, or not a band, but I don't know the name of it, all right? But what shoots the actual bow and arrow, something that some other companies don't do. Really nice paint on it. So you have the gold, you have some brown, you really got that silver. It's all etched in there. I mean, that looks very sharp. And it has what looks like a bird on the front. So I'm assuming this is his design. This looks more like an eagle. So it is shaped like an eagle. But I think this looks absolutely awesome. He does come with his 2-fist hands. He's got a couple of open hands. And then clearly this one is meant to be used with his crossbow. And then he has his thumbs up hand, and when he gets hurt, he can give a thumbs up that he's okay. And you look at these, and it just has some really nice details. You can see the veins that are just kind of going across. Nice thumbnail. No paint apps to it, and I'm perfectly fine with that. There's no reason to. Your nails pretty much blend in with your body. All right. So he comes with some sort of dagger. If it's not called the dagger, you can feel free to tell me what it's called in the comments. Nice detail on it, just a little bit of paint app right there. You have some other blade that looks like it's just a pure metal blade. That's the reason why there's no paint to it. You can kind of see where that this is supposed to be the handle. This is the blade part. You have this. Maybe it tells me what it is, and if it does, then I will be sure to make sure to tell you. And then you have his sword, which has a very short handle. Again, it looks really nice. A lot of detail in that. And then you just have this very long blade. Again, NECA is pretty sharp. This one seems to be a little bit more flexible, unlike anything that is gargoyles that feels like it's going to rip right through you. So now we can take a look at our figure. So there he is. And we'll look at the detail on him. I think we're going to have to pull this off in a second. So, all right, so what we have here is it tells you it has the sword. There's a name of the sword. I don't know what it's called. The mace dagger, hook blade, hidden blade, which will go up inside of there, your crossbow, and interchangeable hands. So I'm sorry, I don't play the video games. I'm reviewing an actual figure, so I'm sorry that I don't know lore of the actual video game. So looking at it here, it does feel like the hood is actually part of his head, whether it's glued on or there's a peg in the back. But the detail on that hood is extremely nice. It makes it hard to see his face. I'm trying to look for something. Oh boy, we're going to do the black and light. I'm going to see how this works to... Ooh, it looks scary there. Okay, so that doesn't work. I don't have a flashlight, but I wanted to try and look underneath there. But from what I can tell there, the beard looks really nice. The eyes seem to be in some... They seem to be good. You got what's supposed to be the cloth underneath it. But the detail on this hood is extremely nice. And it really blends in pretty well. Kind of like it's supposed to be the way it is. But it does kind of allow him to move his head back and forth. Can't really move it up and down too much. All of his armor has some wonderful detail on it. You got some nice paint apps, and I don't see any issues. I'm looking through the camera here, and everything looks extremely nice. I know I say extremely nice, not a lot. Maybe there should be a drinking game every time I say extremely nice. Does it roll straight across? You can see the clasp that's going to hold us together. You can see what's supposed to be fur, and I think it looks good. I almost said it. But all the detail in his gauntlets, and then I love that they painted the buttons here, or whatever you would call them, silver. You got the hands. Then his belt, you can see the sheath for the knife that he's going to have. Does have some nice pliable plastic, or rubber, whatever you want to call it, for his skirt that's going to come down, so it should allow his legs to move. And then when you look at those boots, that detail is real nice. Now, this type of stuff is just a sore thumb. I'm not a big fan of toe articulation, but then you just got these pins and they just stick out. I have to say, the boots don't look very comfortable. They seem very, like you'd feel everything on the bottom, but... And then you have the red going around, and you can see how worn it is, and I like that. That is a lot of attention to detail. All right, so now let's take a look at the articulation and see how much there actually is. So, you saw the head, how much it moves. We got an ab crunch, all right? The arms feel, so there's your T-pose, which isn't bad. This is pliable. So I can get a T-pose. I can't complain about that. You do get him to turn at the shoulders here. What you don't get a good job, because of these gauntlets here, you might have to remove them, is you barely even get it to move at all. I mean, this is very, very much so on the side of a Super 7 Ultimate. And he has, well, they're not butterfly joints, but they're big shoulder joints, and it's really hidden through this, which isn't bad, but you can only go so far over. So you're not going to be holding that sword with two hands, that is for sure. Now, as for the legs here, you're not going to get much in the Jean-Claude Van Damme. Even kicking up, not very much. You get maybe, it looks like you get a 90-degree. Now, I have not opened them. Oh, you know what? I take that back. He has double jointed legs. So, actually, we can get way more than that. And then you have the thigh cuts. So it does allow them to move. Is it a thigh cut? No, it's just a boot cut. Your ankle rockers, and then your toe articulation, which, again, I just don't like toe articulation. It does make sense for figures like Spider-Man, but I didn't have to heat him up or anything, so that is a good thing. So now let's see about taking off the hands, because we definitely want to see him with the crossbow and see how well that works. And the fact that they give him fists is just interesting. So, hand came off really nice. This gauntlet actually comes off. Well, the gauntlet does not look like it's supposed to come off. So you're not going to get real good articulation. That is where the blade actually goes in. Right there. Take off this hand. Now, if you feel the need to, go warm them up. And I mentioned it before. I prefer hot water, but for this, just for the wrist, which I'm having a hard time getting this one out, I'm probably just gonna go hit it with a blow dryer. So give me a second so I can warm this up and get this hand out. All right, so quick and easy. Blow dryer, pop that thing right off. And yeah, unfortunately, the gauntlets, I believe, are supposed to be part of him. So you're not going to get a good arm motion, and that is very disappointing. So if you look inside there, you can see the spot that you can use the blade in either hand. So that's how that's going to go. And I do believe that this hand is really what that's meant to do. And I am no way, I will stab myself if I try and push this hand in there while holding that. All right, so there you go there. And then we can take the blade and you just insert it like that. And then you can push it to however far you want it. So there's the blade for you. And it is a nice assassin weapon. So, but what I do want to get to, obviously, is this thing is not easy to get out. And I have to if I have to stop it again to get the blow dryer, I'm going to be kind of aggravated. There we go. So this hand is clearly posed for the crossbow. There we go. And it looks like it is pinned just to go perfectly in there. Just like that. So, unfortunately, like I mentioned, there's only so much that I can do with it. He's really going to be firing this thing one-handed. I don't think that I can do any type of cross hand to get to it. Alright. And then we'll take what is clearly the hand that is meant to hold the sword. Pop that in there. Now, you can't really do much because this one actually articulates. Should articulate up and down, but it looks like it actually goes in and out too. So you have the two hands, depending on which one you want to put the blade in. So the hand is way too big for the sword. Maybe I'm supposed to use this one. I should have tried that before I... Well, there you go. So this hand is for it. I'm not really sure what this hand is for, because it's too wide for anything else. So just pop that out there. There we go. So then we got the sword. Got the sheath. What I do believe is that knife. So that looks good. I don't see us having a spot for his sword or his... He really doesn't have a spot for a lot of stuff. So now you're just kind of stuck going, oh, this is supposed to go inside one of these hands. So that goes inside. That's interesting, I have to say. So, let's see if we get that thing slide in. Alright, so that's going to hang out there. I don't know how well you can hold the crossbow with that. But either or, you can be firing this thing one-handed everywhere you go. Which actually doesn't look bad. I mean, I think you want to fire it with two hands, but it's a video game, so. I think the figure looks nice. There's a lot to be left. There's a lot left that to be desired. Just the fact that I can barely move his hand or his arms. That is a huge playing feature. And I understand NECA is not for children, but I also want to be able to pose them and do pictures with them. And I feel like there's only so much that I can do, but the figure does look absolutely wonderful. So there you go with the Assassin's Creed Revelations. Ubersoft Original Ezio Auditore, the Mentor. Yeah, I read all that from the box. All right, so my first feeling on this Assassin's Creed Revelation Ezio Auditore, I think I got that right, is that there's so much left to be desired. They really only had to take those gauntlets, cut them a little bit shorter, and you would be able to bend the elbow so much more and get better pictures and articulation out of it. That's something I just don't understand. I'm not a designer, but I feel like that's something that you should not miss. Someone should have caught that. Other than that, I know nothing about the lore of Assassin's Creed, but this figure does look extremely nice. $30 price point isn't bad. Not a lot of accessories, but I'm fine with that because he has what I think he needs other than articulation in his elbows. So other than that, it's a pretty nice figure. Alright, so that's my final review. I did forget to mention he is on a 7-inch scale, so he won't fit with your classified or your mythic legions. Though he might fit with like AWOC and stuff, and you'll probably see in the pictures that I do. I'm probably going to use some AWOC figures. But anyway, I think it's a nice looking figure. Just I hate the fact that you just can't get the articulation out of him that he has in him. But they just have those gauntlets just cut way too much. It's like having, a glove up to here and you can only move so far. So anyway, that's the biggest complaint. And again, I'm sorry if you are a big Assassin's Creed fan. I don't know the lore and I'm not going to try and act like I do. I'm reviewing an actual action figure, not what he comes from. And you can find other reviewers that do that type of stuff wonderfully, and I tell you, hey, you know what, go check those people out and see if this is more for you and see if it actually follows what the actual video game is. But I'm gonna get out of here. Listen, if you're on the social medias, I have 2 Instagrams, a punk with toys and a punk with _toys. I'm not sure which I'm gonna use as my primary. Long story. If you follow the channel, you know why I have 2. Facebook group page, Punks with Toys, because once you join, you're a punk with toys, and that community is growing, but again, no drama, lots of fun. Last but not least, listen, if you like this content, you've been here this long, I ask you, it's the best way to support the channel. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, hit that bell notification so you're notified anytime I drop a video. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop another NECA video, how I'll do Elf, because Elf is just so damn good. And here is going to be a playlist to, I don't know, some other figures that you're definitely going to enjoy. Take care.